Hello everyone, Josh here at Encore, the Mustang Parts Warehouse with a parting out video people have been waiting a long time to finally see. It's the Cobra convertible, 2001, bought at auction. As you can see, it is a flood car. It has 95,000 miles and it looks like we bought it in 2014. So this was the first 4-valve car that I bought for Encore, and I wanted to get one no matter the condition so I could kind of learn about the IRS system and all about the electronics and kind of how these cars operate, because at the time, 2014, the Terminator projects were the big thing, and this was the next best thing to kind of learn about all the different intricacies of a Cobra. Now this one you'll see, I'll go through the car front to back and real quickly just point out all the things I see that are unique to this vehicle. It does have a Terminator bumper on it, which when removed will be listed for sale as damaged. It's cracked in a few spots, and I haven't even, in all the years I've had this car, haven't looked that closely at it to see if that's an aftermarket bumper or an original. But the chin spoiler is there, the fog light inserts and the fog lights are there. You can see a set of smoked headlights on this car. So if you see something that you like on it, you can go ahead and comment down below. And when these items get removed and listed, I'll make sure to send the links to those of you who ask for a specific part, and I'll put them in the description of this video here, so that at any time you want to check back and see if something's been made available, that way you can go directly to the listing to see what we're asking. So the car does run, but due to the flood situation, I believe we've got some kind of a damaged rod situation going on. It knocks really loud, and I've always said since the last time I fired it up, which has been probably 3 years ago or so, I said the next person that hears this thing run will be the buyer, because it may be the last time it turns over. It's that bad. So unfortunately, the engine's not good, but it is running, and if not sold complete very quickly, as soon as it's removed from the car, I'll start listing all the individual pieces and part it out, so you'll have the heads, the intake, these coolant pipes, and all the special things that are kind of Cobra or Lincoln only with the 32 valve. So I see a couple aftermarket parts here under the hood. I always like to see these when you're using a cone style air filter, especially so close to the mass airflow sensor. I like to see that there's some kind of wall here that keeps the beat from the electric fan from affecting the mass airflow meter. So on a second note, I just can't go by seeing that part without educating any of you who aren't familiar with what that's for. It's to keep the airflow sensor from getting the kind of vibratory beat that the electric fan or clutch fan would put into it. Same thing with any of the earlier Mustangs. You always want to, if not have it boxed, at least make sure that it's not being affected by the fan. We can see it looks like some granitelli. I mean, I'm cleaning the dirt off some of this stuff for the very first time. So we're going to learn together some of the things, and I have never lifted this car up to get underneath it, which we're going to do here in a little bit. But that looks like a granitelli set of adjustable camber caster plates. There is this strut tower brace, which, since the car wasn't wrecked, a lot of this stuff is still going to be in salvageable condition. And I know it does operate as far as computer, harness, all those good things. Unfortunately, I won't be able to drive this transmission. So we'll take a look at it when it goes up in the air. We'll see if it's clean, maybe even clean to the point where it looks like it's been changed. I swear, I promise. I've not lifted this car up to see underneath it yet. We're going to do it live together here. So there's a shorty antenna, there's some interior billet trim, which I've just noticed I'll go over now. As far as under the hood, folks, I think that's about it. I don't really see any other upgrades or aftermarket parts that I know of. I don't see any kind of timing adjuster. I recognize those to be like a stock set of pulleys, although the alternator looks like it may have a replacement style of sticker possibly underneath it there. Kind of pinkish looking sticker that might say remanufactured or something. Other than that, everything here looks pretty stock. So we're going to move past the engine compartment. Now this hood, well, let's go back and see if there's a... Everybody wants to know about the hood. and I have not yet looked at it. This is the first time I'm actually looking for a part number or a manufacturer. I call this either a Mach 1 style hood or a Storm and Norman. I know that each manufacturer kind of has its own number for it, but we'll look together at a CFH F2108, it appears. CFH, nothing comes to mind right away. Champion Fiberglass, HO Fiber Trends, Cervini's. So I'll go ahead and get that looked at. And the hood appears to be in excellent condition, no damage underneath, nothing here where the hood latches. So we're going to learn together what this hood's all about. Black paint, couple probably light scratches, but due to the fact that it's fiberglass, there's really going to be no other major damage to it. As I'm going past the car and chose kind of dusky, you know, I wanted some sunlight to be beaming off of this car. If you look, you'll see that not only was it caught in a flood of some kind, but it looks like it might have hailed that day. So all the sheet metal on this car, although most of it is very clean, even this quarter panel, very clean quarter panels for a convertible. I can see at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there might be even too many dents here to say a lot of these metal panels are going to be salvageable. But we'll take a distant look here for the interior. So there's going to be a full interior billet accessory, kind of a kit there, a dress-up kit. It's got the parking brake handle, trim ring around the shifter, and shifter knob just looks like a polished aluminum. 1 through 5 with reverse. HVAC knobs, the headlight switch knob. There is a tilt lever right here, part of the dress-up kit. So once all these parts are removed, they'll be put in some kind of a grouping, whether it's just the interior parts and like the door parts might be all in one ad, and then some of the console stuff might be in a second ad, since the manual trim ring and knob are specific to just a manual car. That'll probably be its own separate listing. But I will be powering up the gauges. I'll do some operation of the windows and the top. I don't want to do the top today because I'm going to lift the car, so I just want to make sure that it's structurally still solid when I go ahead and do that. But the top does work, and actually it's in very, very good condition. Looks like it's got a couple of pieces of black missing here, black vinyl here. But the car's been only outside now a few days, and it did rain. And I did not notice any water in the car. I will double check that every time that it rains again. This car is extremely dirty. The windows have been down for some time, so I'm not going to dwell on how clean is this and that. You'll see it when it's listed. I'll have all the flaws described of any of the door panels, the seats. I know people are going to be excited about these. They are the original Cobra seats, but right now today we're just going kind of over the quick form list to show what the car has. It's basically a complete car at this point, and very stock, other than the dress-up parts. There's some aftermarket exhaust we'll see momentarily. I believe some Tokico struts are still on the car. The spoiler and hood are obviously aftermarket. But before the sun goes down beyond that roof, I want to try and get it up in the air. So bear with me here, folks. And together we'll lift this thing up so I can get up underneath it. That's the spot. Okay, so I'll start right here at the bumper cover, because I know that's a part a lot of people have been interested in. It looks to me, since I really don't see any impact damage, there's no like blue paint, red paint, scuffs or too much, I'm going to assume maybe this thing was driving into this flooded situation. And I'm going to guess that the water pressure maybe had something to do with cracking this bumper. I do see some white paint here. So who knows, could be from the tow truck, but I really don't see like a car impact, anything that took place at speed. The chin spoiler kind of deal, it made it. It's a little wavy, and some of the push pins are either loose or missing, but I believe that's an original Ford piece. Again, we're just going over this quickly. Once I get the car in, which will be later right now, I'll be able to investigate a little further into the manufacturer and the condition of some of these parts. So I see that blue, I think Tokico right away, and I know these Cobras did kind of have a premium suspension system. So once I'm able to identify what those are, I'll be able to share with everybody, but they sure look darn clean. And actually, now that I see right through here, those are Tokico front struts, and the backs are the same. And they look extremely clean. Are they original? It's hard to tell, but they were original on a Cobra as far as I know. Wheels I see, they're actually very nice and presentable wheels. Just a little bit of curb rash on that one there. I've had this car, as we know, 8 or 9 years, and I don't think I've had to fill the tires once. A little bit of curb rash here, but I don't see any bends or anything that would steer me away from saying that that's a good set of wheels. That's a nice looking rim there. Just a little bit of, couple chunks of curb rash. And this one here, I see some at the 6 o'clock position here. So a nice set of wheels. Tires are probably going to be no good, even if they have tread on them here. They're still a 11-year-old tire, 39 of 12. So let's go ahead and get underneath this today and learn together what's going on. Bassani tips. So again, first time I'm going down here with y'all. I have not checked the gear ratio. I bet the brakes are, oh, I can. So I'll go ahead and check the gear ratio before I set the car down. When you see that it's got a modification here and the wing and the hood, and you know, who knows, it may be lowered, it's got this aftermarket exhaust, somebody might have gone the extra step, since this is a naturally aspirated Cobra, and thrown a gear set in it. Actually a very clean frame. Kind of new to the whole IRS thing, so this is, like I said, I bought this car so I could learn about it, and I'm sure I will when it's being dismantled. But from what I can see, it's a lot of Ford part numbers. The springs don't look to be anything. Oh my gosh, I'm wrong. Okay, we got a set of Eibach springs in this car. Now I see something special. Let me see if I can get in there and clean that off. Yeah, I don't think Eibach were factory parts. So we got an Eibach set of springs. I believe this 3590-002 will be the part number. I could be wrong, but I believe those are the part number. If not, it's 160644. So that could be convertible specific. It could be IRS specific. There may not be some in the front. We're all going to find out together. So although the drive shaft looks like a piece of steel, that yoke looks interesting. It's a different kind of shade there. So I'll take a good look at that and get back to see if that's some kind of upgrade. This is my first time looking at the transmission, and I should know by now if this is like a T45, a Tremec 3650, the 2001 Cobra. Well, looking for the ID tag. I know my 02 GT came with a Tremec 3650. This is an 01 Cobra. I'll find out before I make myself look foolish and a guess. How's that, guys? Oh, so the front springs have been changed as well. I see a different part number there. And below I see 3510.301. This part number up top is a 1571 04-1. Oh, well, wouldn't doubt that's from the day it was towed. That's a shame that somebody used that core support to hook from. But if somebody did need a front structure or a subframe, this would probably be a great donor, minus that one little boo-boo right there. This car has not been hit, to my knowledge. It appears to be very rust-free. Well, it's kind of a smaller sway bar for what I would have expected on a Cobra. Let me see what I can find for headers and mid-pipe. Oh, new starter. Got a new starter. So I'm glad I got down here when I did. Clouds showed up. Clouds showed up before we ran out of sunlight for the roof, but it looks to be factory headers with a Bassani X pipe. And to my knowledge, that should fit the single overhead and dual overhead cars as well. Just the tailpipes are going to be specific to the IRS. So I have IRS tailpipes. It looks like a set of Bassani mufflers and flow tubes in good condition. While I got it up, what else do folks want to know? We got one taillight that takes on moisture. I don't see any damage to it other than to some of the chrome and reflective stuff inside, but no damage to the lens itself. If you look in the glare here, kind of the sunlight, sunset, it's not warped. I'm used to seeing these lights get warped a lot. I don't know if it's from having the brake lamps on so much or what, or some kind of manufacturing flaw, but I don't see that one's warped at all. And I don't see that this one's warped at all. This one does not take on any kind of water. And today in the eBay store, I have some new old stock Amber driver side taillights. So if someone were really interested in some of the best sets, being as transparent as I can here, and I don't see any damage at all to this lamp. So this one paired with I only have new old stock drivers right now, but this paired with a new old stock driver would be an excellent pair. Or if you really only need one, we'll see how I list them once they're off. Cobra bumper. See if there's any tire rub or anything fancy going on. Nope, don't see anything fancy there. So a lot of things that are stock to all cars, some things that are offered only on Cobras, and a little bit of in between. But other than the hail damage, no, I'm looking down, the rocker moldings are very nice, the little fender spats and flares are good. Again, this bumper, other than some scuffs on it, don't really see anything to talk about there. Looks like all the factory push pins are holding that in. Again, nice straight passenger rocker, fender molding. And of course the Cobra brakes all the way around. So I'll take one good look kind of at the back end before we call it a wrap, just so people can see the spoiler and trunk. Now I've looked with an expert and we came to the conclusion that this spoiler mounts in the same spot as any other factory base model or GT spoiler. But whether it's a Saline or some kind of Cervini's replication, I will do my very best to ID the part and price it accordingly, and hopefully be able to sell just the trunk lid and or just the spoiler. And it looks like we have a blacked out kind of a LED third brake light in there. That might be, I might have to buy that. So the Mach 460 sound system amps are there. I can test all the speakers and the radio before I take the stuff out, but it will be coming in very soon to get dismantled. And you will start seeing the parts come available. So thank you all for your attention. And if you are liking this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel when the rest of these are all V8s here that are going to be getting parted out next. So if you want to see any of the V8 GT cars that are coming apart next, we have a 5.0, a 4.6, a 5.0, a 5.0, a 5.0, and a 4.6. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And of course, again, if you have any questions about the 01 Cobra convertible, you're welcome to send an email to sales@encorempw.com. The parts will be probably, most of them will be posted to eBay as soon as they come off the car, the specialty parts at least. Any of the other stock stuff you might be able to find on my website. Seatbelt, steering wheel, dashboard parts, center consoles, things like that. Side mirrors, door handles, doors, you can find all that stuff online. So I think that's it. Like, share, subscribe. Sales@encorempw.com and encorempw.com on eBay. Thanks for your attention and look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good day.